Play ball, sports fans. Welcome into a new episode of the Leaderboard.
Dan, we're so glad to have you. School's back in session, and that means fall sports are kicking into gear. From the football field to the soccer pitch and everywhere in between, we're your home for all the latest content. Speaking
of football, Noel, we have a two-time Super Bowl winner on the show this week. Can't wait for the viewers to hear what he has to say. That's not all we have this week. After multiple years of going winless, a local team is on the board. We hear from the players about the massive victory.
The Toledo Walleyes locker room with history on the walls and comfort in the stalls. See how the fish get ready to fight. Plus Cosmic Baseball meeting Bowling Green football's new mascot and a whole lot more. So let's get the game going.
All right, he's coached alongside legends, hoisted the Lombardi Trophy, and helped shape some of the greatest defenses in NFL history. But before all that, Dean Pease, just a small town kid from Dunkirk, Ohio. Tonight in our Where Are They Now series, we take you from the farm fields of Hardin County to the biggest stage in football and back home again. He's coached some of the greatest to ever play and worked under some of the best to ever lead. But before the Super Bowl rings and NFL sidelines, Dean Pease was just a small town kid from Dunkirk, Ohio.
It was a very small town. I grew up on a farm, and there were 8 of us kids, and so went to a real small high school called Hardin Northern School. It was actually, the building was all 12 grades, and so, but great experience. I had a great bringing up, great youth, got to play in all the sports, all the bands, all of the stuff. You got to be very active.
Pease stayed close to home for college, headed to BGSU. That's where he laid the foundation for a coaching career that would span more than 50 years.
Everybody in my family had gone to Ohio State, and I wanted to do something a little different. So I went to BG, and the experience was great. I had a great time at BG.
After college, he started coaching at Elmwood High School. From there, his path climbed steadily. He worked with a number of football legends, eventually becoming first coach in NFL history to serve as defensive coordinator for 4 different teams.
I had Saban twice, and Belichick, and Coach Holtz, John Harbaugh, a guy named Dick Strom down at Finley is just as legendary, really, as all of them. They all were great coaches. They're guys, they're coaches, and we all kind of have the same mold.
His resume includes Super Bowl titles with the New England Patriots and Baltimore Ravens. These are milestones he calls surreal.
There's always that ultimate achievement, and in football, professional football, it's the Super Bowl. There is nothing above and beyond that. To be able to do that multiple times, we've been blessed.
It's no surprise Pease hails from Ohio, a place long known for producing elite football coaches.
Ohio football was just kind of it was a big deal. It's Friday Night Lights type thing. It's just like if you would have gone into the town of Dunkirk on Friday night when I was playing, you probably could have robbed the whole town because nobody was home. They were all at the football game.
Today, Dean and his wife Sharon are back home in Northwest Ohio. After decades on the move, this is where they've chosen to plant their roots.
Grandkids, and we're home. My wife grew up just 40 minutes from here in Jerry City, Ohio, and I grew up down an hour and a half from here from Dunkirk, Ohio, so we still got family in the area.
He's still giving back, too, helping area coaches, working with college programs, and mentoring the next generation.
I've done some help with Jason at UT. I did with Bowling Green with Scott Leffler. Hey, anything anybody wants. I'm happy to give back. The sport has been incredible to me and my family.
And even though he's not officially on staff anymore, he's still a trusted voice in Baltimore.
I'm there if they need me. My son's now coaching there. Zach Orr's doing a great job there. John and I have got kind of an agreement. If he needs something, call me. I'll do it. If you don't, you don't.
And maybe the biggest reason he keeps coming back?
It's just invigorating, and it just keeps you going. And it's just, I love the sport, but I love the being around the players more than the actual sport. Just being a part of that, being a part of a unit, being part of a team, common goal, all those kinds of things. It's invigorating.
From a farm in Dunkirk to the biggest stage in football, Dean Pease' story is a reminder that some of the brightest minds in the game still call Northwest Ohio home. Yeah, from Dunkirk to Super Bowl Sundays. How about that? Dean Pease sure has seen it all. At the end of the day, the coach says what matters most to him isn't the rings or the resumes. It's being back now here in Toledo area, giving back and staying connected to the game he loves.
And Dan, it seems like I've noticed this before. Northwest Ohio lays the foundation for very successful football coaching careers specifically. You got Nick Saban, who started his head coaching career at Toledo, Urban Meyer with his stint before Florida and Ohio State at Bowling Green, and even the Harbaughs being born in Toledo, and the dad, I think, even serving as Bowling Green's head coach.
Well, you got Jerry Glanville, too. He was head coach of the Houston Oilers, and of course, don't take away Jim Leland with the Tigers.
Yep.
So all these roots, all these athletics, but like talking to Dean weeks ago, he's still helping out, and the ticket is always there if he wants to fly back to Baltimore and help the Ravens, he just said. But he just loves being around the players. But he's 75 years old. Noel, he's retired 3 times from the NFL, 3 times.
Like Tom Brady?
But Sharon keeps come on back, come on back. So here he is.
It's a lifestyle. It's hard to step away. Very cool story there. Well, for the past 4 years, Woodward football centered around losing. 41 straight games to be exact, which stood as the longest active streak in Ohio coming into the season. But now, after bringing in a new coach, the Polar Bears had a new result. Tyler Segerman has the story.
It's hard because we ain't used to saying, oh, we want to know.
For the first time since November of 2020, this program enters the week fresh off victory.
For them to all put it together and see why, we do things the way we do it, that was very fulfilling. And honestly, these kids have been through so much these last couple of years, and they earned it.
Adversity used to be a detriment for Woodward football. Not anymore.
One thing I did notice, I turned around on our sideline. Guys were picking each other up. Guys were taking the coaching. Guys were getting on each other in a positive way.
After quickly falling down 14-0 in its season opener last week, Brennan McNeil's team showcased resilience to defeat John Adams 28-22. Senior quarterback Zion King accounted for all 4 of the Polar Bears' touchdowns on Friday.
Ready, set.
A performance he credits to off-season preparation.
It was a statement game because we knew the work we put into the offseason, everything we did leading from February to now, it was going to pay off, and it paid off week 1.
2 of those scores ended up in the hands of classmate Michael Pfizer, who feels the weight of a 41-game losing streak being lifted.
Yeah, this for sure definitely off our shoulders, and now we can worry about going 2-0 now because we already 1-0. We beat the streak now. We want to go be undefeated.
Winning is not something this team is accustomed to, so best believe now that they've experienced the feeling, doing it again provides much-needed motivation.
We want to keep the same energy we had going into the first game and keep our teammates together, keep going 100% at practice.
The team's energy in general, everybody's more brought in. They make football their main priority, and the coaching staff.
McNeil took over Woodward in January, vowing to change the culture.
All right, get it up, get a break.
Now he's seeking to elevate it.
We know what the narrative about our program is. We know what people say about us, but quite frankly, all they can say about us right now is we're 1-0. So and that's big for us, and we're only just getting started here, and we're very excited now for the future.
If you're in the minor leagues, this is the place to come play hockey.
Skate, sticks, saunas. The Walleye Locker Room has it all. We'll take you inside this hidden gem built for champions coming up next. When you think minor league hockey, you probably don't think about luxury, but here in Toledo, the Walleye have really built something that looks and feels like the big leagues. From the locker room to the lounge, we're taking you inside the palace where players call home.
If you're in the minor leagues, this is the place to come play hockey. This place is an absolute palace. It has every modern amenity you could possibly imagine for the players. As you walk around this locker room, you can see just how incredible it is. Welcome to the Toledo Walleye Locker Room. Come on in. So first up, we've got on either side of the wall here, this is where the stick rack will be throughout the year. The guys' sticks will all be lined up here based on their number. They can grab them right as they're going out to the ice. We do an unbelievable job of making sure that the guys know what the history of this place is. We have pictures from all the past teams up on these walls. So when they come in here, they understand just how special this place is. This is the equipment room. Adam Wozniak is our head equipment manager here. Come on in. And so this actually just got renovated last year. This is we're 1 calendar year for this office with some big changes in here. He's got everything labeled perfectly, like everything that guys could possibly think of. He makes sure that they're in a good spot. So like throughout the year, you'll have socks and things like that. Like look, blue socks, they're right there. Everything is labeled perfectly up here, so he knows exactly where things are throughout the year. Over here, Adam spends like, I'm pretty sure 90% of his day just sitting here sharpening skates. All right, so as we leave Adam's office, you come right out of here. You come back down the hallway. This is new last year as well. Own the expectations. Everybody knows when you come to Toledo, you're going to be playing for championships, and you have to come in knowing that. So once you get out here, all the players' stalls obviously cleaned out throughout the year. The main logo is on the floor. You're not allowed to step on the logo. That's a fine. Everybody avoids this spot right here. So you see all the players' stalls. You got the captain wall back there, all the previous captains that have come through Toledo. Let's go through this door. So coming out of the locker room, you come into this door right here. This is the players' lounge. They spend a lot of time in here just kind of relaxing. You know, they get to sit on the couches, they get to chill, they got the TV here. And then you've got the dry stalls over here. So when guys come in, you get to keep your nice dry clothes here and keep out of the locker room, which is obviously a big deal. And then over here, they've got, your kitchenette. On this side of the lounge, you've got what I think is one of the coolest things. Everybody that has worn a Toledo Walleye uniform and then made it to the NHL gets to be featured on this wall. That does include coaches, of course, Derek Lalone, who was the head coach of the Red Wings, some of our more recent ones, Caden Fulcher, Peter Mrazek, guys that have worn a Walleye uniform and made it to the NHL, they are all featured up here on this wall. So as you leave the lounge, then you're going over to this area. Right through this door, you're gonna see guys' bodies are banged up throughout the games. Yeah, obviously you got a cold tub. You've got your restrooms back here, showers back here, but also they've got a sauna in here, which is pretty darn cool. It's something that not everybody has. And then as you come through here, you've got your sinks, and then right back here is the weight room. So the guys will come back here. There's a ping pong table over there. Guys can relax a little bit, play some ping pong, but also weights. That's the most important part. They got lifting weights, getting strong. Players aren't paid terribly well to play minor league hockey. That's just the reality of it. But the guys play because they really love it. And we want to make sure that when they come to Toledo, they are completely taken care of. From the day they get here to the day they leave, their families leave with a great experience. We want guys to come here knowing that not only are you going to get to play for a competitive team that's going to be in a championship hunt every single year, but you're also, when you're away from the ice, you're going to get to be part of the community. You're going to get to have a really good lifestyle, and people are going to love you no matter what happens on the ice.
Well, even though the Mud Hens were out of town last week, Fifth Third Field was still packed. Ever heard of Cosmic Baseball? Well, they were at the park, starting with the Daytime Fan Fest in Hensville. It's a newer baseball concept. Think entertainment baseball, but glow in the dark. The teams are the Glow-Mojis and the Tri-City Chili Peppers. They started playing last year at their home field in Virginia, and this year embarked on their first tour in April. We got a chance to talk with players before the game about what they love most about playing in this setting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all entertainment baseball, right? And that's what we're looking for, is like fans are hungry for entertainment. For us, the biggest difference is you're going to come out here and you're going to glow in the game, right? You're going to be reactive in the stadium. You're going to be fully engaged. We try to separate that line of a pro player and a fan, and that separation. So players will come out in the stadium, they're signing autographs, they're hanging out with you pre-game and post-game.
It's all to make baseball fun. I would say the main difference is we're playing ball here. You know, I would say that Banana Ball is more entertainment based. We are baseball, entertainment around it, and skeptical around it. So, you know, like I said, we're all in the same realm, but, you know, it's just trying to make baseball fun again.
The crew had 7 cities scheduled on their tour, and Toledo was their second to last stop of the year. So, Dan, you've heard of Savannah Bananas, right?
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with these guys, but I was familiar with the Savannah Bananas, and I agree the concept. A lot of people are not really baseball fans. Now, in Toledo, we're lucky because the stadium has so much to offer. It's a real nice family atmosphere. People come out just to be there and see and be seen and see the entertainment. It's an entertainment business after all. But like you have to make them fall in love with the game of baseball, and I think that's a way of doing it.
It's true, and we are pretty spoiled out here in Toledo. I was actually there on Saturday night covering the Cosmic Baseball, and I talked with people from Cincinnati, Cleveland, people all over the state came to see this spectacle, if you will, but I was in the same boat. I had never heard of them before, but then when you start narrowing down, oh, it's all entertainment baseball, people trying to get a broader audience for the sport of baseball. It was pretty fun. I kind of started to fall asleep a little just because it was so dark at one point.
How good was the baseball, though?
The baseball was good. That was one thing that they said in the interview. Savannah Bananas is very choreographed, dance-based, but these guys, you know, Cosmic Baseball, they try to really play baseball. And I will say, in between innings, they're throwing BP. I saw a guy hit 3 bombs in a row, and it's a neon ball in the dark. So to hit a home run in that capacity, that's got to count for something.
That's fantastic. Noel, thanks. Well, he's a local alum, a new dad, and now leading St. Francis football. Coming up, Coach Linke opens up about family, football, and the future of St. Francis.
A new episode of Chasing the Game is here. This week, Chase caught up with St. Francis head football coach Josh Linke about his coaching journey. Linke talked about leading the Knights program back to relevance and expectations for this year. Here's part of their conversation.
I think when you look at jobs in the area, Anthony Wayne is certainly, you know, when you coach there, it's one of the premier jobs in the area, and so you know that's what we're trying to make this place as well. And so kind of trying to emulate some of those things and do things the way that they do as well. And that's always going to hold a special place in my heart, being an alum from there. I always like to see how well they do, and you know, it's certainly you know, a unique place to coach and to live and just to be a part of that community. So the community is drastically different than what it was like when I moved out there 20-something years ago, but it's really exploded, and you know, I think a lot of families you know, are kind of pick between there and Perrysburg to kind of live when they're moving in from maybe different places, because the schools speak for themselves, the athletics speak for themselves, you know, so it's certainly a great community, and you know, I'm happy to be an alum from there.
Yeah, I mean, when you were going there, I mean, it was like, you know, 4 or 5 rounds for the playoffs. I mean, you guys were in, you know, 1 division Northern Lakes League that had Maumee and I think maybe Rossford was still in there in your early years. Yeah, it was just a completely different conference. It was just a whole different sort of dynamic. You met your wife, Allison, there at Anthony Wayne. What can you say about her and her role? I think you've been very open about, you know, how supportive she's been of you and all the different coaching moves you've made. And you know, even if it's high school, it's still, you know, kind of a tough thing to be like a coach's wife, and you're away for a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been a huge support, and you know, she's always kind of been there by my side, and so that's been awesome to, you know, have her be a part of. And you know, it takes a special person to understand kind of what this job entails and how much work needs to be put in and done, you know, to do it the right way. So for her to be supportive of that has been, you know, really instrumental in my kind of growth in this career. You know, and so it's been fun to have her along, and you know, she like I said, she's just been a great support.
Yeah, and you guys just had a kid not too long ago, right?
Yeah, we had a daughter it'll be 3 weeks on Wednesday. We had a daughter. She was born August 6th. Her name's Shay Noel. Yeah. So yeah, we just had a baby girl. So it's made for some long nights. The timing is impeccable, but ton of help with her mom and ton of help with my mom and people around us. So we're fighting through it, but it's been some this fall's been, or I guess summer going into fall has been busy.
Catch Chasing the Game on WTOL 11 Plus, YouTube, and Spotify.
It's great to see St. Francis football have some relevance again now.
Definitely.
But now it's time to check out our leaderboard poll of the week. We're talking Friday Night Lights action.
We asked you, what is your favorite part about football under the Friday Night Lights? Your options were the football itself, the school bands, the student sections, or the food.
The winner with more than half of the votes was the Friday football itself. Next in second place was the bands with almost 40% of the votes. In third place was the student sections, with the food coming in last place. Got to agree with the football. We have some really wonderful football and some balanced football in the area, real competitive stuff. But I got to give a shout out to the bands in the area. Of course, the top of the line is Anthony Wayne's band. They've been a traditional powerhouse for years in band.
They're pretty incredible. I was going to say it doesn't get more Northwest Ohio than people voting for the football itself as first place, but I got to tell you, being on the field, hearing the tubas, the drums, everybody just coming out, just being there on the sideline, hearing them come down, yelling in their formations and everything, that's how you know it's fall. That's how you know it's time for Friday Night Lights.
That's the atmosphere for it. Now for this week's poll of the week, we're still talking football, but now it's fantasy football. The question is, which site do you play fantasy football on? Your options: Yahoo, ESPN, Sleeper, Fantrax, and other. We want to hear from you.
To vote, simply scan the QR code on your screen right now or head to WTOL11.com and head to the sports section. As always, we'll be back here next week to break down the results.
Initially, I'm allergic to cats. So I was like, what the hell is a cat doing in the locker room?
Bowling Green football has a new star in the locker room this fall, and he's not on the roster. Coming up, meet Pudge, the Cats.
Now it's time for this week's Athlete Shoutout of the Week.
This week's Leaderboard Parent Shoutout goes to 6-year-old Joe. She's a rising star on the ice.
Joe says she loves skating because it's tough, and that makes it all the more exciting when she nails a new move. She says her favorite move is spinning, and her mom says she's working hard at landing that big axel jump. She just started competing last summer and finished her first season with a second-place finish.
Fast forward to this year, and she's already sitting in first place in both of her events. Joe is a proud member of the BGSU skate club, where she trains alongside so many other talented young skaters. Keep spinning, keep smiling, keep chasing that axle, Joe. Here at the Leaderboard, we're cheering you on.
Can you ice skate?
I cannot. I tried to ice skate years ago. I tried to roller skate. I could barely do that.
I can roller blade. I could never get the 4 wheels to skate, but for ice skating, I kind of look like a hunchback.
I think there was a girl maybe I was trying to impress when I was about 16. I bought some hockey skates, and I promptly embarrassed myself, so I got rid of them pretty quickly.
Well, I'm sure she still remembers that unforgettable experience.
I can't remember who it was, the girl.
Oh, damn, okay.
Long time ago. Do you have a young athlete in your life? Well, we want to show them off. Whether you're a parent, grandparent, or just the biggest fan on the sidelines, we want to see your favorite youth sports moments. So send us your best photos and videos. Your submissions could be featured in the WTOL 11 sports specials and across our social media platforms.
All you do is text us your highlights and be sure to include your name, your star's name, and a hometown. That number is 419-248-1100. Or you can email us at sports@WTOL.com.
BGSU football and Eddie George jump-starting its 2025 campaign this week.
And while there's plenty of anticipation on the field, the locker room has generated some buzz as well. Or should I say, Dan, extra fur.
Yeah. You see, senior long snapper George Carlson decided to bring his cat named Pudge into the locker room one day during fall camp. Yeah, that's a good name for it, Pudge. Video quickly surfaced, and now the Falcon feline has his own jersey and fan base. So we asked BG's leader how these past 2 weeks have been with their newest addition. His response, darn near perfect.
Initially, I'm allergic to cats. So I was like, what the hell is a cat doing in the locker room, initially. But Pudge is cute. My wife loves Pudge, and he's become a part of the family. I don't mind. I think it's cool. In fact, I think they have a couple of his T-shirts to sell, and so I'm going to get buy a couple of them so I can wear them around campus. But I think it's cool. Pudge stays out of my way. I stay out of Pudge's way, and we are fine.
And in case you were wondering, we're told Pudge is a Persian cat. And Dan, actually, Pudge made Good Morning America. They talked about him and did a package on him with the start of college football and everything. The players, as you can see right there, they're posting on TikTok. That's Finn Hogan, wide receiver for the Falcons, and he has just taken off and hit national news.
Maybe if BGSU wins a lot of games this year, maybe they beat their rival like Toledo, maybe Pudge will actually smile. It looks kind of grim,
he looks
doesn't
a little
it?
upset. But I think that's what makes him so cute. I don't know.
Very cute.
Ugly cute.
That's going to do it for another episode of the Leaderboard here on WTOL 11 Plus. I'm Dan Cummins.
And I'm Noelle Blumel. And from our entire WTOL 11 Leaderboard team, we'll see you next game.